Hello there, 5th grade class. Happy Wednesday to you. Let's jump into today's lesson. You should have about 60 minutes to do this lesson, and I really want to encourage you to go check your Jupiter. A lot of you guys have really great grades right now. Please make sure that you're checking Jupiter every single day. We're going to start off by clicking today's lesson, which is Wednesday, 4/22. And when we get there, we are going to read what we have. It says, "Hi team, let's make this Wednesday wonderful. Share something that you're grateful for in the comments." Love you guys. So please go ahead and comment on there. Opening up our worksheet, which will guide our lesson today, we're going to start with that is right, Yasir, we're going to start with our do now. Do you think people can control what they dream about? I'm looking for 4 or more complete sentences. Go ahead and pause this video and answer that question. If you have pressed play again, that means that you are ready. We're going to jump into vocabulary now. Great job with the do now. I think that people can control what they dream about, but I personally do not know how to do it. Grab your vocabulary workbook and let's open up to page 225. All about prefixes. Now, don't forget, on Friday, you're going to have a vocab exam on this unit, Unit 12. We are doing a fantastic job making it through this vocabulary book. You need to know these words to be ready for 6th grade, so I'm really glad that we're continuing to learn them so you guys can be the smartest 6th graders ever. Let's go over the correct answers. Page 125. Number 1 should be in plus doors equals indoors. That means inside of a building. Number 2, re plus fill equals refill, which means fill again. Number 3, re plus turn equals return, which means go back. In plus born equals inborn, which means present in an animal or person from birth. Im plus plant equals implant, which is to insert something into a living thing. Number 6, the answer is reconfirm. Number 7, the answer is inborn. Number 8, the answer is implant. Number 9, the answer is return. And number 10, the answer is insight. What you're going to do right now is you are going to pause this video and do pages 126 to 127. If you would like to listen along as I read page 126, keep listening and I'll read that to you now. Census taking. Very, very interesting because right now there is a census that's going on in the United States. Ask your parents or grandparents about it. It's a pretty cool thing. It's making sure that all of us are counted so we know how many people live here. Page 126. The U.S. Census Bureau takes official surveys to gather data on our population. The formal count is called a census. Business leaders, educators, and politicians can use the data to get a realistic picture of the people that they serve. Such groups use the information about the population to ensure that they understand the needs of the community. Scientists also use census data. Can you imagine why? Scientists study plants and animal populations for many reasons. Scientists might track animal populations to learn how animals and humans can live together safely. They might study a migrant butterfly population to find out the same number of butterflies returns to the same area each year. Or scientists might count the members of an endangered species in order to appeal for ongoing protection. Government census workers gather data in person and by mail, but scientists must find unique ways to count the plants and animals in a given area. I'm going to pause there real quick. This is reminding me so much of Miss Brake and the way that she has an app on her phone that when she sees a new animal, bird, plant, or insect, she's able to log it so that everyone knows how many of them are around. To estimate the population of free-tailed bats in Carlsbad Cavern, the largest cave in New Mexico, for example, scientists made use of technology. They set up video cameras outside the entrance of the cave, which houses a large number of bats. The scientists filmed the bats flying out of the cave. Later, the scientists counted the bats in each frame of the video. Scientists sometimes just use their eyes to take a census. This visual method works best when the plants or animals are large in size and small in number. For example, to count the maple trees on a farm in Vermont, scientists can simply use their eyes. However, a more complex method would be needed to gauge the number of small animals, such as field mice, in the same vicinity. You may now pause the video. Using the text, go ahead and answer the questions on page 127. And I would suggest that if you're looking for an extra challenge, you do the write your own. And I think that would be a great way to stretch your learning. When you're finished with the vocab, go ahead and click back to this video and we will start reading our chapter for today. I bet you killed on that vocab. Nice job. We'll review answers tomorrow. We have just a short little bit to read today because we are going to be finishing up chapter 13. After we read these pages today, you're going to go back to our worksheet and you're going to answer the comprehension questions. I'd like to give shout outs to Samaj, Yasir, Andrew, Anila, Dylan T. All of these students are giving me full, complete answers with capital letters and punctuation at the end of them. I want all of us to keep striving towards this because this should be something that's easy for us already. We're going to meet today on page 247, and we're going to go and start where it says next on the everything is normal agenda, okay? So right now, Jeannie is trying to pretend that there's nothing weird going on. He's sitting in the inside-outside room with Grandpa, pretending that there's 5 birds, and he says all the time, he's just like panicked. He's like, oh, what's happening? What do they know? What's going on? So I would say that Jeannie's a little bit on edge right now, a little bit uncomfortable. Who would you guys say is supporting Jeannie during these challenging times? Yes, Kendall? Yeah, I think that Ernie is an example of a really great big brother. And we're seeing him be that really great big brother right now as he helps to have ideas and to support Jeannie through this. Dylan H, good point. Dylan H wanted to add that Tess is also being a good supporter. Now, do you think that Grandma would want to help if she knew about what's going on? I'm not sure. Grandma's kind of mysterious. All right, let's meet on page 247 and let's read. Next on the everything is normal agenda, Tess comes up to the house. A trip through the woods. Food in the trap, gone. Nothing caught. Disappointment. Reset the trap. Take Grandpop out at night. Reset the guilt. Reset the panic. In between all of this, there was another trip to the flea market, but Jeannie missed out on this one. The night before, Grandpop had a new job for Jeannie that he wanted done before their walk, and it kept them up later than ever. When Jeannie had arrived in the kitchen at his usual 2200 hours, Grandpop had pulled a small box from his lap and set it on the table. He'd opened it to show Jeannie rolls of money, each one neatly rubber banded. Jeannie's eyes bugged. Little Wood, you've been taking care of everything so well, you know, with making sure everything is on the up and up in my special room and all. Jeannie swallowed the need to be honest that was making its way up his throat. I really appreciate it, Grandpop went on. And now I need you to do something else for me, because I trust you. He tapped a roll like the mob boss assigning a hit. Organize these. Here's how I want you to do it. Make sure all the bills are facing the same direction. Then take the $1 bills and fold the top right corner down. $5 bills, top left. 10s, fold the bottom right. 20s, the bottom left. You got it? I think so. Jeannie repeated the instructions to make sure that he had it right. Then he went through each roll, bending the corners and putting the 1s with the 1s, the 5s with the 5s, and the 10s with the 10s. And there were no 20s. No 20s, huh? Grandpop asked, scratching his chin. Nope. Jeannie flipped through the bills, double-checking. No 20s. Grandpop made another huh sound and then told him to fold each stack of bills by denomination, rubber band them, and put them back in the box. He didn't tell Jeannie why he wanted him to do all of this, so of course Jeannie was bursting to know. But instead of answering when Jeannie asked, Grandpop headed for the door. Night walk time. That evening there was a banana moon and all kinds of sky glitter, the name that Jeannie had made up for stars. Grandpop liked it. Little Wood, how many you think are up there? Grandpop had been getting more and more comfortable with the yard and was now taking 4 or 5 steps a time before slapping his hands back down on Jeannie's shoulder. But after a step or two with Jeannie's help, Grandpa would lift his hands again. He was like a baby learning to walk, and he almost had it. He tried counting, but every time, "Oh, I don't know," Jeannie said, his head tilted all the way back. "Let's see." He tried counting, but every time he got past 20, he would get confused about the ones he had already counted, and eventually he realized how crazy it was to try to count stars, even though it was definitely a question that he needed an answer to. How many stars are in the sky? Finally, he just stopped and took a guess. "Shoot, it's gotta be at least 100. 100, huh?" Grandpop said, smiling. "Well, I guess I'll have to take your word for it." Question number 474. How many stars are in the sky, and whose job is it to count them? Are new stars born? And if so, wouldn't that mess up the count? And as the sky gets older, does it lose stars, like teeth? The next morning, Jeannie had just finished jotting down his star questions when he heard Grandma's car pull into the yard. He closed his notebook and ran outside to help carry things into the kitchen. "Hey, Grandma, hey, Ernie, sorry I overslept," Jeannie greeted them. "How was the market?" "It was good, baby, but it would have been better if we had 2 extra hands." Grandma winked, setting some apples on the counter and washing her hands in the sink. "But we did all right," Ernie said. "I took care of it." Jeannie could tell that Ernie was feeling good about himself. "Yeah, you worked extra hard. Probably because Miss Tess was there," Grandma said, cheesing. "Hey, she was working hard too. Sold a bunch of earrings, man. People really like those things. Grandma even bought a pair." "Grandma?" Grandma bought earrings made of bottle caps? Grandma never wore earrings, except to church. "Grandma," Ernie confirmed. Jeannie filled his plate with a second serving of something called scrapple that was sitting in a pan on the stove. It was another new food that Grandma had introduced him to. He liked it even more than grits, and it didn't even need any extra sugar on top. "Oh, so y'all think that just because I'm old I can't be cool," Grandma said, heading towards her bedroom. "Shoot, I've been cool before cool was cool. Before cool was even a word." She said it loud enough for Jeannie and Ernie to hear it, but soft enough to make it seem like she was talking to herself. Jeannie grinned at Ernie. Old people. "So what else did you do at the market? Did the peas sell out? Get another crab sandwich?" Jeannie asked. Ernie took his sunglasses off, which meant that he wanted to tell Jeannie something important. "Remember the crazy guy who was looking for the roller skates?" "Yeah," Jeannie said. "What's his name? Mr. Binks?" "Yeah, well, he was there again." Ernie picked up a chunk of scrapple from Jeannie's plate and popped it into his mouth. And guess what he was selling? Jeannie hated when Ernie told him to guess something because he never guessed right, but he always tried. "Light-up necklaces, like that dude at the Broadway Nassau stop?" Mr. Binks seemed like that kind of guy. "No, man," Ernie said. "Now guess, for real." "What? That was for real. Just tell me." "Teeth." The guy was selling teeth, Jeannie. "Teeth like," Jeannie pointed to his mouth. "Yeah, like teeth. Chompers, pearly whites, teeth. Real ones, not dentures or nothing. That's the good luck charm Grandma was talking about." Ernie started pacing around the kitchen. "Grandma claims he's been a dentist for like 40 years, and whenever he pulls a tooth from someone famous, he saves it. Then he sells them to people." "Nuts! I always hated going to the dentist," Ernie went on all hyper. "Man, somebody digging around in your mouth, drilling and picking. I hate it." "You don't hate nothing," Grandma interrupted, coming back into the kitchen and kissing Jeannie on the forehead. She smelled like outside. Now he understood what Grandpa meant when he said that. "I do. I hate the dentist," Ernie insisted. "And now look, find out they're planning on selling my teeth whenever they take them out. That Binks guy, he's like a tooth jacker." Grandma chuckled. "I can understand that, but..." Jeannie cut Grandma off. You said he sold good luck. He does. He sells those teeth as good luck charms, like a rabbit's foot, you know? A rabbit's foot? Jeannie and Ernie both yelped at the same time. Then Jeannie said, "Don't seem like the rabbit had good luck at all." You guys can head on over to your worksheet. There's some comprehension questions in there, and then a quick journal for you to respond to so that I know how you're doing. Keep up the good work, and I loved reading with you all today. See you soon.